Hello students, I am Prem Dhawan and will be discussing with you about the nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes in this video. But before we start, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and press the bell button so that we can notify you whenever the next video comes. We will discuss about the different types of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now look at this example. So we will discuss about the nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now look at this example. Now this is your alkyl halide with a carbon halogen bond. So first we will discuss what are the different ways by which the X can be displaced. Now one possible way to displace X is in a stepwise manner. Like the first step is the carbon halogen bond breaking. So first we are breaking carbon halogen bond and we are forming this called carbocation. The carbon carrying a positive charge is called carbocation. And once this carbocation is formed, once you have a positively charged carbon present, it combines with the incoming nucleophile Nu negative and forms a new covalent bond. This is called bond formation. So in two steps, we have replaced the X negative by Nu negative. This is called nucleophilic substitution and this takes place in two steps. So we call it two-step mechanism. And the step number 1 is bond breaking and step number 2 is bond formation. So this nucleophilic substitution takes place in two steps. So we use the symbol SN. This stands for nucleophilic substitution. But in this nucleophilic substitution, this formation of carbocation is the rate determining step. So I am using the symbol R plus for carbocation. So formation of this carbocation is the rate determining step. And we use the abbreviation RDS. Now what is the meaning of rate determining step? It means the rate of nucleophilic substitution. It depends on the formation of carbocation and on the stability of carbocation. And if you look at the reaction, this rate determining step, it involves only one reactant molecule, that is haloalkane. Now RDS involves only one reactant molecule, and that is alkyl halide. So we use the term that the molecularity of this reaction is 1. Molecularity of this reaction is equal to 1 and this reaction is called a unimolecular reaction. and we use a symbol SN1. And this SN1, S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophilic, and 1 stands for unimolecular. So either you write substitution, nucleophilic, unimolecular, or you read this in the reverse order. 1 stands for unimolecular, nucleophilic, then substitution. So it is a unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. So this is one possible way to displace X by incoming nucleophile. Now we will see the next method of displacing X. Now the next method of displacing X is this. Suppose we have a alkyl halide. This is carbon halogen bond present, right? And the nucleophile in this case attacks at the positively charged alpha carbon from the back side and results in the displacement of this negatively charged X negative. Now in this case, the arrival of nucleophile and the departure of X minus both takes place simultaneously. It means the CX bond breaking and the bond formation of alpha carbon with nucleophile both takes place simultaneously, and this leads to the formation of a transition state. And this transition state is formed, and the transition state cannot be isolated. Transition state exists momentarily, only for a fraction of a second. While the carbocation is an intermediate in the first mechanism, and carbocation is an intermediate and can be isolated. So that is the difference between the intermediate and the transition state. And finally, it gives you the product in which the X has been displaced by nucleophile. Now this is also called nucleophilic substitution reaction. This is second possibility, like in which the bond formation and bond breaking both are taking place simultaneously. And the formation of this transition state is called the rate determining step. So in this mechanism, the formation of transition state is the rate determining step. It means the rate of reaction depends on the formation of this transition state, and this rate determining step involves two reactant molecules. This rate determining step involves two reactant molecules. And the two reactant molecules are, one is haloalkane and the second is the incoming nucleophile Nu negative. So therefore, the molecularity of this reaction is 2, and the reaction is called a bimolecular reaction. And hence we write a symbol SN2. Now in this SN2, S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophilic, and 2 stands for bimolecular. So the reaction is called bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So there are two types of nucleophilic substitutions we have. One is SN1 unimolecular nucleophilic substitution, and second is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution SN2. Now the question comes, how do you decide which alkyl halide will undergo which type of mechanism? So it depends on number of factors. So we will discuss these factors one by one. And the first is the structure of the alkyl group. So let us take this example. Now this is an example of a tertiary alkyl chloride. Now why tertiary? Because the alpha carbon is bonded to 3 alkyl groups, so this is called 3 degree, it's a tertiary. Now we know that each alkyl group is electron donating group. Each alkyl group is electron donating group and exerts plus I effect plus inductive effect. So each alkyl group is increasing the electron density around chlorine atom. As a result, the CCl bond is highly polar, and the CCl bond is highly polar and the CCl bond dissociates on its own. So we don't require help from any external nucleophile. The chlorine can depart on its own, results in the formation of this carbocation. And this carbocation form is 3 degree, and we also know that the stability of the carbocation follows this order, that 1 degree is the least stable, 2 degree and the 3 degree. And since this alkyl halide is giving you 3 degree stable carbocation, the reaction proceeds via SN1 mechanism. So this first step is bond breaking. So it is the loss of Cl minus and is the rate determining step. Now since the reaction involves carbocation, and this carbocation then combines with the incoming nucleophile and gives the final product. So it's a two-step mechanism. First step is bond breaking and the second step is bond formation. So this mechanism is called SN1 mechanism. So if you look at the alkyl halide, 3 degree alkyl halide, since they are giving you a stable 3 degree carbocation, they prefer SN1 mechanism. Now one more reason is there. If you look at the 3 degree alkyl halide, this 3 degree alkyl halide is highly crowded. So this 3 degree alkyl halide is under strain, under tension, and in order to relieve a strain, it gives away Cl minus and very easily and forms a carbocation. Right? So 3 degree always undergo SN1. Or we can say, as the crowding increases at the alpha carbon, the tendency to undergo SN1 mechanism increases. So more crowded alkyl halide, they prefer SN1 mechanism. Now since the reaction involves the formation of carbocation and the carbocation can be stabilized by hydration or by solvation. So this carbocation R positive can be stabilized by hydration or solvation. It means the polar solvents stabilizes the carbocation and prefer, or we can say they speed up the SN1 reaction. Speed up the SN1 reaction. So for SN1 reaction to take place, the first is that alkyl halide should be highly crowded. You should have more and more crowding at the alpha carbon, which can give you a stable carbocation. And once the carbocation is formed, if you are able to stabilize the carbocation by hydration, by solvation using polar solvents, then the reactivity towards SN1 mechanism increases. Now we'll take the second example. Now this is a primary alkyl halide. you have only one alkyl group at the alpha carbon present. Only one alkyl group, this is called primary. And this alkyl group is electron donating group and is increasing the electron density around chlorine atom. But we don't have enough electron density around chlorine. The bond is not highly polar. The CCl bond does not dissociate on its own. And also because of this less crowding, the molecule is very comfortable. The molecule is not ready to lose its Cl minus ion easily. So what we do, we take help from the incoming nucleophile. And this nucleophile can attack at the alpha carbon only from the back side. This front side attack is not possible because of the repulsion by the lone pair of this chlorine atom. So this front side attack is not possible. The nucleophile has to attack from the back side. And for this nucleophile to attack from the back side, the alpha carbon should be less crowded. Alpha carbon should be more exposed. So that's why the 1 degree alkyl halide, they prefer this type of mechanism, which is called SN2. And when nucleophile attacks from the back side, it results in the formation of a transition state. So the reaction proceeds via transition state. So this mechanism is called SN2. Now SN2 reaction is given by less crowded alkyl halides. So we can state that SN2 reaction is given by a less crowded alkyl halide. Right? So primary has the least crowding. So primary alkyl halides are the most reactive towards SN2. Second, since there is no carbocation involved, so the SN2 reaction is favored by non-polar solvents. Non-polar solvents. So the 2 points are important. One is more the crowding at the alpha carbon, more the tendency to undergo SN1 mechanism. And polar solvents, they helps in stabilizing the carbocation, so prefer SN1 mechanism. While SN2 reaction is given by less crowded alkyl halide and it is favored by non-polar solvents. And the third point is, since alkyl halides, in 1 degree alkyl halides, primary alkyl halides have less polar CCl bond, so to displace this chlorine we need a very strong nucleophiles. So one more point is there. This is third point, that SN2 mechanism is favored by strong nucleophiles. Strong nucleophiles. For example, suppose we take this primary alkyl halide CH3 and this is CH2 and the Cl. Now, if we want to displace this chlorine via SN2 mechanism, we take the help from the OH negative. So it gives you this alcohol. Ethyl alcohol is the product form plus Cl negative, right? While in case of SN1, we can use the weak nucleophiles also. So SN1 mechanism is given by a weak nucleophiles. For example, this is 3 degree alkyl halide, tertiary butyl chloride, and this can be hydrolyzed by even water. So we don't require OH negative, even the weak nucleophile water can displace Cl negative. And the product is called a tertiary butyl alcohol. So there are number of factors on which the mechanism depends. Now we will write the differences between the SN1 and SN2 in the tabular form. Now this is SN1 and this is SN2. So we'll try to compile the important points about SN1, SN2 in tabular form. The first point is that SN1 is a two-step mechanism. In which the step 1 is bond breaking, and step 2 is bond formation. So, when we say it is a SN1, it means there are two steps. When we say SN2, it means it is a one step. So, this is a one step mechanism. It is a one step mechanism, and bond formation and breaking both takes place simultaneously. Now, the second point is that in SN1, the rate determining step is the formation of carbocation. While in case of SN2, the rate determining step is the formation of transition state. Now, the third point is, since the reaction proceeds, SN1 reaction proceeds via carbocation, more the stability of the carbocation, more the reactivity towards SN1. So, the reactivity order towards SN1 is this reactivity order. It is a 1 degree alkyl halide, then 2 degree alkyl halide, and then 3 degree alkyl halide are the most reactive. And SN2 reaction, in SN2 reaction, the nucleophile attacks from the back side. So, you should have less crowding at the alpha carbon. So, 1 degree alkyl halides are the most reactive in SN2. So, our reactivity order is this: 3 degree alkyl halide the least reactive, and 1 degree is the most reactive. Now, the fourth point is the rate equation. Now, in case of SN1 mechanism, the rate equation is rate is equal to K into the concentration of alkyl halide. So, SN1 reaction is independent of the concentration of nucleophile. It depends only on the concentration of alkyl halide. But in case of SN2, our rate equation is this: rate is equal to K into alkyl halide and the nucleophile. So, in SN2, the rate depends on both concentration of alkyl halide as well as the concentration of nucleophile. And the fifth point is that in SN1 reaction, the carbocation is stabilized by polar solvent. So, SN1 reaction is favored by polar solvents, and SN2 reaction is favored by non-polar solvents. So, we will discuss two examples to discuss about the SN1 and SN2 mechanism. Now, this is our example number 1. Now, suppose you are given these two isomers CH3, CH2, CH2 and the CH2Br, and CH3, CCH3 and CH3 and Br. So, our aim is to compare which one is more reactive towards SN1 mechanism. Now, as the question is comparing the reactivity towards SN1, you first say which one is more crowded. So, 3 degree alkyl halide is more crowded as compared to 1 degree, and also loss of bromine from the 3 degree results in the formation of a stable 3 degree carbocation. This is 3 degree carbocation and is highly stable. While this primary alkyl halide is less crowded at the alpha carbon, and also loss of bromine gives you a less stable 1 degree carbocation And SN1 mechanism depends on the stability of the carbocation. So since 3 degree carbocation is more stable, and hence a tertiary butyl chloride is more reactive than normal butyl chloride, normal butyl bromide. Tertiary butyl bromide is more reactive than normal butyl bromide in SN1 reaction. I think this example is clear. Now we'll take one last example. Now this is example number 2. Now these are the two alkyl halides are given. This is called N-butyl bromide. It's a primary, it's a 1 degree. Now this is second compound, which is called normal butyl iodide and is also 1 degree. So our aim is to compare the reactivity towards SN2 reaction. So once we say it's SN2, then you should remember that in SN2 the nucleophile attacks at the alpha carbon from the backside, right? Nucleophile attacks at the alpha carbon from the backside. Now once the nucleophile attacks, then the halogen has to leave as a X negative. And we know that the carbon iodine bond is weaker than carbon bromine bond. So Ci bond is weaker than Cbr bond. It means iodine is a better leaving group than Br negative, and hence normal butyl iodide is more reactive than normal butyl bromide towards SN2 reaction. So I think now the mechanism SN1 and SN2 and how to use SN1 and SN2 in various types of questions are very well clear to you. That's all for this video. I hope you got to learn something new, and if you did, then please press the like button and share this video with others. If you have any question, any doubt, please note it down in the comment section. Thanks for watching. See you next time.